As a host, why are you waiting till the guests greet you? Oh my goodness. We're going to talk about that today on another episode of Undiagnosed Baddie. Now, you all already know that this is a daily 10-minute podcast to do something that you have to do with something that you want to do, and that is listen to me in different topics that people are literally talking about. So there's been so many times that I've gone into an establishment, and be it a clothing store or even restaurants, and I'm sure that what this particular lady is talking about, and you walk in and y'all are looking at each other, because the way it works is in establishments where I'm coming to spend money, you're supposed to greet me. This is not like a household. Like, so we already know in a house, you walk in, you say hello to everybody, because that's how that works. When you are an establishment and people are coming to spend their money, and this is more so for the young people, the weirdos, what are they called? Zers? They're weird. They're so fucking weird. And when it comes to this next generation, I don't know, it's something happened. Something happened. And they make regular life living so awkward. And I don't understand why. I'm also going to say on this topic, when I walk into a store, no matter how bad they have, no matter how bad I need something that they have, if they do not greet me, I do not buy, right? So when I'm walking into a beauty supply store, a clothing store, any type of store outside of grocery, people don't really greet you when you walk into the grocery store. Nobody's usually at the door. What happens is you're supposed to say hello. You're supposed to say, hi, good morning, welcome to Undiagnosed Baddie. Let me know if you need anything, right? So I haven't greeted in forever. I don't even think I've ever worked in one of those stores where I had to greet that I can remember. Probably a long, long, long time ago. But there is a script for you to say when someone walks in the door to spend money. And it's just like, what are we doing? Why are we taking away the experience of going to spend our hard-earned money? And in this day and age, baby, in 2026, it is hard earned. It ain't like back in the day, you could go get a couple jobs and whoop-de-woo and spend all the money. Now you really have to, they want you in office, even though we are in the technology age and so much of this can be done remotely. Besides the absolute ones with, security and no breaches. I hate that I even have to over explain things during certain episodes, because it's like sometimes when you're on, like when you do stuff and you post it on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, it's like a nuance where people are like, well, everybody can't go in because of the job. And it's like, you get what the fuck I'm saying, right? Let's fucking not. And not even pretend that we did. But when it comes to being greeted, I find that to be one of the top tier things. You know who greets you all the time when you go in? Five Below. Welcome to Five Below. Hi, welcome to Five Below. And it's just like, thank you. I appreciate that. And then they also ask for their surveys. And I think it's good to fill out the surveys in front of them. They know what side, they know what's a 1, they know what's a 5. They know what you're clicking up in that store. And also that's automatically reported back, to regional and regional reports down, et cetera, et cetera. Let the people know what you're unsatisfied with. But on the flip side, we have to also leave good reviews when it is due. When you have a great experience, even if you have a bad experience overall, but one person made it good. So like you went somewhere, tried some new food was nasty. However, your server, waiter or waitress was magnificent. Say that. I think it's very important that people are leaving reviews, accurate reviews on how their not time, but on how it went at the place. Whatever place it is, I think it is important. Like, when you Google certain places, even at grocery stores, they have a Google page. Leave it. If there was something dirty, if the bathrooms are not clean, let it be known on there. When you go to these different doctor's offices, state your wait times. That's embarrassing. That's not something that can be taken away. They tell me to check in at 12:45 for a 1 p.m. appointment. Wasn't brought back until 1:30. Wasn't seen until 2:45. Put that on there. Put that on there, and I think it's very important that you leave particular details when leaving a review. I think that's very important, but it also goes back to what I was saying, that host, what she was actually saying. You should not be greeting the host. When I walk in, it should be like, "Hi, a party of four. Do you have reservation?" It should really be, "Hi, do you have a reservation? And what's your name?" Okay, and then you move on from there, right? Like that's the appropriate greeting when you are a host of some sorts. I know when I host, and my hosting is a little bit different, I welcome people, man. I'm like, hey, you look nice. I compliment them. Some people want hugs. I'm like, are you a hugger? Da 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 da. And some people are not. Some people are like, girl, it's too early, especially at my 9 a.m. parties, and that's okay. But I want them to know that I'm thankful that they are at my party or event, because without them, there's no success for me. And that's how all of this works. So I think it's very important that the people who are in business go back to business etiquette 101. We have to be hands-on training, and sometimes that does look like micromanaging a little bit in the beginning when we're training, right? And so also as a manager, table touches, we have to go around. You can't always be back at the house. We're walking around. Is your experience okay? Is your drink okay? Is the service fast enough? Do you need anything? What happened to that? I love when I go to restaurants and they have people specifically hired to do table touches. It's the people that are just standing around, and when you start looking for your waitress or waiter, your server, they can see. They see, hi, how can I help you? Ketchup, great. And that way, while my server is doing something else, putting in someone else's order, getting my food of whatever else our drinks, whatever, we are also getting the small things that we need without having to wait. Top tier service. Top tier service when I go to those restaurants. And you know what also comes with that? Top tier tipping. I am one person, I know I've said it before, I hate tipping. I hate tipping. However, when I hate it because one, sometimes it's automatically included and you motherfucker didn't earn that 18%. Two, I hate that people put this stigma on black people that black people don't tip, so they feel obligated to tip even when the service was not so great, even when the service was bad. It's just this whole shit show of tipping in the United States and where it actually started from, right? So I do believe that there needs to be a total reconstruction of the tipping industry. But on the other hand, when I receive outstanding service, baby, you're going to get the outstanding tip. Like I have no, you know what, baby, you earned this motherfucking money tonight. You earned this money. And on the flip side, when I do services, I love getting tipped. Like that lets me know I did my job. I made you feel like everything you wanted to feel like when you came in here for this service, whatever the service may be. If I'm bartending, if I'm hosting, if I'm making, if I'm the stage manager and we got our stage people together and I've got my checklist and I've got people's riders and we've got everything going on or whatever it is, and I made you feel amazing and you tip me, because even in certain industries you don't technically get tipped, but when you do, oh baby, and it don't be no short shit. But what I do want to say is, to all the people that have to employ and train the next generation coming up, be on their ass. Be on their ass and understand that when you are that first person, if you're that first person at the register where people walk in the door, and you're that person on the floor or whatever it is, have your people speaking to people. And sometimes you don't have to ask them, do they need anything? Be like, hey, welcome to Ulta. Let me know if you need anything. And then that always opens the door, because, when people say, not yet, or, welcome to Ulta. My name is Bella. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be right in this area. Always offer your service. You always want to be of help when you're in the service industry. Like, that's obviously, we're here to serve, right? So just be aware of how you want to be treated always always treat others how you want to be treated when you're coming to spend your money, when you're coming to get a service, when all of that. Okay, yeah, let's bring back the business etiquette 101.